We're going to jump right into it. To make the most of today's session, I would say find a secluded place. If you have to sneak into an empty classroom, do it. I don't know if you're at home, even better. If you are on, oh yeah, of course, Marianne. If you are on campus and you're able to turn off your walkie, do it. But I know sometimes you can't for safety reasons. And then make sure you have your own copy of the dashboard and form. So right here is a link. I'm not going to click on it because then I'll exit out of the presentation, but this is actually the document that we'll be working on today. So let's go ahead and get started. And oh, actually one more question. Is any of the Zoom features blocking the screen? Because sometimes that happens where it's like a big box. Okay, good. Okay, so the session I called it transformative classroom walkthroughs because actually let me set my timer, guys, because I don't want to go over. Give me one sec. All right, here we go. So we've got 53 minutes left. Here we go. I called it transformative classroom walkthroughs because before, I feel like when I called it classroom walkthroughs, it really was just a walkthrough and then the data went into the abyss. And I'm not a principal or anything. I'm actually an instructional coach currently at a middle school in Southern California. And I started this as a side hobby to fill a need that I saw at my own school site. And then I have friends that are principals. So then they started, sharing with me some of their needs like behavioral tracking and chronic absenteeism and things like that. So then it kind of branched out and took on like its own thing. And so it's become the Sheet Savvy Educator. So that's basically what I do. I'm Danielle and I make easy to use Google Sheets dashboards. And if you have any questions after the session, the easiest way to get a hold of me is dataempowerededucator@gmail.com. So you can use that email. So like I said, the purpose for having this walkthrough was that I was finding certain things were missing from our walkthrough process. First of all, like I said, the data went into the abyss, right? There wasn't individualized follow-up to see if teachers' practices were evolving. And as a coach, I'm like, that's my main goal. Like, I want teachers' practices to evolve so that students can learn. And then that brings me to my second point. I wasn't even able to see the data. So my administrators would go into the classroom, they would fill out the Google form or whatever, and then it was like, okay, there you go. And then sometimes, I mean, I've asked a friend like, oh, what did they say in your Google form? But first of all, no one's got time for that during their prep. That's not what they want to do on their prep. And then secondly, it duplicates the work for me because then I have to go and do my own data collection. And so I wanted a way that we could streamline the data where I could see it. And then also what kind of came out of this was actually an accident. Other teams started to kind of, we tacked on other teams. So we noticed that other teams on campus, like our Avid site team, I don't know if any of you guys are Avid schools, and our PBIS team was collecting data and they were duplicating similar things that were on the walkthrough form. And so it was a really cool moment this year when my administrator was talking with our PBIS lead, and he was trying to figure out, okay, who has all the PBIS matrices hung up in their classroom and who doesn't? Who do I still need to make a copy of? And she's like, oh, just ask Danielle, it's on the dashboard. And I was like, oh my gosh, it is. So he didn't have to go through all the classrooms. He just looked at the dashboard and was like, okay, those 7 teachers or whatever still need their matrix. So that was a really cool thing. So our goal for today then is to identify the areas or teams that you would like to cover with your informal walkthroughs. Set up a Google Sheets dashboard from the template that I give you, and then customize that to meet your needs. And if you don't mind, just so I kind of get an idea of who's in the room so I can make sure I'm kind of differentiating what I say throughout the process, just let me know your role at your school site in the chat. So while you guys are letting me know your role, I'm going to give you an overview of what the Google Sheets dashboard actually is. And the simplest definition is it's a snapshot of all the data that's collected during the walkthrough process. And how it works is you fill out a Google form during each walkthrough, or you could do a paper version and then fill out the Google form later. And the data is then linked to the Google Sheet. And that sheet is where all the magic happens. It contains a dashboard that automatically populates charts based on all the formulas that I put on the back end. Cool. Okay. Math interventionist, school testing coordinator. Got it. Yeah. Assistant principal, MTSS. Perfect. Okay, cool. That helps me. Oh, yeah, that does help me. Yeah. Thank you guys. So, sorry. Before we get into it, before we make our own, I want to begin with the end in mind, just like I would with students. So this is like the exemplar. Ta-da. I put in some fake data last night just so that you guys can see how it works. When you fill out the Google form, it will go on to, sorry, hold on, I got to move a bunch of stuff around on my screen. it will go into the form responses, right? We're all familiar with